Hi YouTube! I'm back again with another advice video for all UT students. This literally pertains to anyone who goes to UT. In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys how to secure an apartment in Austin and also how to save money on finding an apartment. Literally my job, literally the way I pay for school is to help students find a place to live. A lot of people get finesse out of hundreds of dollars per month because they don't know how to find a place that's actually within their budget, and they don't know how to take the time to look for a place. And these apartments will take advantage of you because they know that you're young, they know that you've never done it before. So please let me know if you guys want help finding an apartment in person. I'm more than happy to do that. But definitely watch this video before you hit me up just so you can fully understand how it works, okay? So I'm just gonna jump right in. So there's three main areas where students live around campus. The first one is Riverside, and then there's West Campus and North Campus. Riverside is the area where a lot of students live if they're trying to save money. You're close to downtown, but you're not in downtown, right? So that's why it's so cheap to live in Riverside. I've noticed lately that the prices in Riverside are going up a little bit, so don't quote me on the prices, but on average, it's gonna be maybe around like $600. And to me, they're a lot nicer just because they're not near UT campus, so there's more room to build. But of course, the downside with that is that you're further away from campus. And for some people, depending on how you get there, the commute can be anywhere between an hour to 30 minutes, whatever. I know lots of people who live in Riverside and love it, and for them, it's worth it. For some people, it's not. There's also West Campus. West Campus is great because obviously you're right next to campus, so you can walk to class. When you're in West Campus, you're paying for the location. West Campus is kind of known to be like where all the parties are. So for a lot of people, West Campus is worth living in because they want to be around everything and around everyone. The apartments in West Campus, in my opinion, are not any nicer than the apartments in Riverside. They're built pretty sloppy. For example, the apartment building that I live in, every time it rains, there's a leak in my ceiling. Your rent's gonna be anywhere between like $800 to like $1,200-$1,300. Some people pay up to that price. Another downside to West Campus is that parking is usually $100 a month, depending on where you live. But for some people, it's not worth it. If you want to live in a more quiet place and you want a more cheaper apartment, I would not live in West Campus. So North Campus is a nice happy medium if you want to be still pretty close to campus. You don't have to, usually the commute isn't going to be as long. There's a lot of bus systems that don't take too long to get to campus if you live in North Campus. Campus is going to obviously be cheaper than West Campus, but it's going to be probably a little bit more expensive than Riverside. North Campus, there's a lot more options. There's a lot more that you can find if you have a certain budget and you do want to be close to campus, and then you want also free parking, which North Campus has a lot more free parking than West Campus does. The North Campus might be a good place for you. You can probably pay anywhere between $700 and like $1,000 something for an apartment, depending on how nice the apartment is. It's probably the more quiet area of student living. North Campus is where a lot of houses are. If you're looking to live in a house, North Campus is the place to go. So now I'm going to explain to y'all the difference between student housing and real apartments that actually exist in Austin. So this is something that a lot of students never really fully can understand. Even students like my age don't really fully understand the concept of student housing. Student housing is made for students, right? Obviously. And so that is going to be apartments that are just like look nicer. They're made for students. They're made for college students. They have all the amenities usually. You'll have a pool, a gym. You're gonna have a bedroom by the lease. Also usually have the option of it being furnished, which is really nice. But at the same time, rent is usually gonna be a little bit more because those apartments usually are nicer. They look nicer, but honestly, they're not built any much nicer than regular apartments. So your application fee is only gonna be anywhere between like $100 to maybe like $300 in total. It's very convenient for students, but at the same time, they know you're students, so they will take advantage of you. Regular apartments are always going to be cheaper than student housing, right? Those a lot of people choose to live in if they want to live in West Campus, but they want to save a little bit of money. The way that these work is that you have a one big joint rent with all your roommates. So instead of renting by the bedroom, your rent is actually like a lump sum of rent. And then it's up to you and your roommates to go in and split that rent yourselves. If one of your roommates doesn't pay rent, you're all responsible. So that's why student housing exists, so that you can have that freedom of not needing to worry about someone else. Also, when it comes to these apartments, when you guys sign and when you guys apply for these apartments, you have to be able to come up with 1 month's rent in total before you even move in. So that's something that a lot of students just don't like because there's a lot of fees that come with it that a lot of these students just don't have the money to pay. Something to keep in mind, if you are looking for a cheaper rent, whether it be West Campus, North Campus, even Riverside has these apartments, these apartments are a good way to go. This is how apartments work in real life. Regardless, you're gonna have to learn how to pay security deposit at some point. But the benefit to student housing is that they kind of make it easier for students. You don't have to pay these crazy app fees. You don't have to pay security deposit. it's easier and it's cheaper to live in these apartments, but of course, because of that convenience, you're gonna be paying more in rent. So I hope that kind of makes sense, the difference between student housing and like regular apartments. That's something a lot of students are never fully grasp, and a lot of students think that all apartments work the way student housing does, and that's something that I wish that more people understood, that that's not real life. That's not how most apartments work. So for me as a real estate agent, I'll show you like student housing apartments, but I'll also be able to show you apartments that are non-student housing. Usually if you're a student, you don't really know how to get in contact with those apartments, right? Because they don't have a leasing office. So that's something to keep in mind, is if you want to live in those kinds of apartments, that's when you're going to need someone to give you access to those. It's going to be more of a hunt to figure out how to actually live there, and that's why people end up usually going with student housing, because it's just easier. If you have any more questions about like how to find an apartment in Austin, just leave comments down below. I'm going to leave my like real estate email in the description box too. If you want actual help finding an apartment, just like let me know, email me. Yeah, hopefully this video helped, and thanks for watching.